Okay, so let's do science talk. Again, I'm very limited by even more than ever because now even I don't even have the microscope. But I can still do theoretical work and some practical work, and I'll do whatever I can. I hope you will find it interesting, but of course I'm doing it mostly because I need to document my findings for the future. First of all, I will begin with a side note. I never really paid a lot of attention or thought to, what would be the consequences of actually people that eat these things, the nanobots, like you, Homo sapiens. I know that they do it, and I know that's why. It's a big part of the reason that I'm abused and prosecuted like all my life, because they want the stuff for free, and they want either to take like my bodily fluids for me, or kill me and eat the body as they've done. Such a cannibalism was common in Israel for like more than 100 years. If someone is appalled by the notion of the Israeli people cooking and eating human being, they should know that it's not a new issue at all, and it takes place for more than 100 years. Just like that, yes. Of course, they mostly did it to titans that contain much less nanobots than I am. So I'm going to be like, from their perspective, I'm going to be like a huge catch, like really like prime, I don't know, wild bison meat, or maybe I never eaten a wild bison. I don't know. I'm not that. There's this meat that everyone, all the schmucks are talking about today, Wagyu or something like that. Anyway, yeah, because they can probably cook me and have a huge amount of nanobots that they probably didn't have access to such an amount until now. Which explains, it's another explanation why they torture me that much, because of course they want me dead. So I never really thought about, what would be actually, what kind of process could start when people do such a thing? Not morally, but biologically speaking, or mechanically speaking. Because I never had I always thought that I don't have enough knowledge, info, so why speculate on scientific issues that are so beyond you? I could say that I had several reasons, and I spoke about it in the past, I don't want to repeat myself, but I had several circumstantial reasons to speculate that this stuff could be not psychologically, because everything can be psychologically addictive, even the worst stuff in the world could be psychologically addictive, but it could be physically addictive, but only when taken on, so to say, large quantities. And of course, large is defined by a threshold that I don't know what is it. I mentioned in the past that I think that if someone tasted it in the past, or took a small portion and stopped and chazar b'tshuva, repented, so as I said, God will forgive him or her. I attacked this issue from a religious and moral point of view, which is a valid point of view, and I think that it also it sits well with the fact and with at least several biological theories, and I will present at least one such a theory. So I think that there are reasons to believe that beyond the moral reason, or the judgment that by God reason, that if someone has truly repented and stopped completely after and haven't done it many times, then they should be probably be spared from the wrath of God, and materially speaking, they will not be addicted to the stuff, and their body could return to normal. So I'll present one such a theory that could like substantiate it, and but of course this is purely conjecture, but it's interesting to think about it. Okay, those nanobots can do wonders for certain, but you need like large amounts in order to if you want like to have large effect. And you also need to supply them with energy, and most importantly, you need to convey like what you want them to do to them in order for them to cooperate with you. And this is perhaps the most difficult of all. And this is one of perhaps the main theme of my research is how do I communicate with those creatures? Like I understood these are intelligent creatures, and it's more important to actually be able to communicate with them than to give them the necessary material and energy, not because they don't need material energy, but it's probably going to be easy to supply them with material and energy, because they have wonderful capabilities of manipulating matter and also wonderful capabilities of manipulating energy. So yes, they still need the matter and the energy, and it's one of the things that I occupied with, as you know, from the start. But it's not the most difficult. It's more like the crux here is how to communicate with them. If you want to get like beneficial results from your point of view. And also there is the issue of why would they listen to you? Like, who is the boss here? Like, hypothetically, you can say that they are the boss. Because they can communicate with each other, and this was already proven without any doubt many times, and they have memory, and they have collective memory, and this was proven, like scientifically proven. I have scientifically proved that, and they use symbolic language and symbolic thought, and this was also proved by myself, and so you can argue, okay, they are the boss. So who do they listen to? Which is it's a great question, and I will elaborate on this in this video, TLDR me. So, but why and how does it happen? So we'll get back to it in a while. But we can speculate that if they enter the human body, they will keep their idle, at least their what they do, and the idle operation, idle behavior, because they don't really have an idle behavior. They don't wait for commands to do things. They do. They're always busy when they have unless they have no energy or matter. And then they, even if they don't die necessarily, they hibernate. And maybe I'll speak about it as well in this video. But they don't need commands in order to do stuff. And so we know that they do things. And one of the things that they do is that they kill biological life forms, which is very important from my perspective, because I don't have white blood cells. This is something that I've shown you under the microscope. It's a scientific, it's a fact. I don't have white blood cells, so I need something to actually fight the biological monsters that enter my body. I live in a biological, like all of you, I live in on Earth, and so biological shit is always entering my body, you can't avoid it. So although I eat, of course. So if you eat fresh foods or things like that, you're gonna get microbes into your body, or yogurt, or not that fresh meats, etc., etc. And it's everywhere. So they fight the biological intruders. So probably they will keep doing it in the Homo sapiens body as well. That's my guess, which could be beneficial especially if, I mean, the body fights a virus or a germ that it cannot defeat, which is common because the Homo sapien immune system is not perfect. And this could actually help defeating a very nasty diseases that science cannot currently defeat, which is of course very beneficial. But there is a big but here. Most of the humans, of the biological cells that the human body contains, the Homo sapien body contains, are actually like guests, are germs that do not have the DNA of the said human, like of the Homo sapiens. Like most of the biological living organism that I mean the Homo sapiens is comprised of, like, is made of, actually doesn't have the DNA of the person that you will get if you do like a DNA test from a tissue of the person, because they are not Homo sapiens. They are integral to the function of the Homo sapiens, but they are not Homo sapiens. They are germs, and their number is estimated to be between 3 times and 10 times the number of like Homo sapiens biological cells, up to 10 times, and the minimum, the low estimation is 3 times. It could be that he said that like Homo sapiens is mostly made of like not Homo sapiens cells, which is funny, but I mean it's this from not from like a mass point of view or weight, but from the number of cells. So you have a ton of cells in your body. I mean, Homo sapiens that are not that they could be identified by these neurons as a threat, unless they are really smart. But I don't think that they were made to make this distinction, because I mean, why would they? I mean, as I said before, the Homo sapiens also have their own version of the neurons in their body. So perhaps, I mean, these kind of neurons, they know how to handle your body. But you take, I mean, one kind of nanobots from like a different, entirely different life form, presumably not even a life form. It depends on the definition. And you're putting them on your own body, which also contains neurons, but much like in much smaller quantity, in much smaller. And you expect them to start like to do things that they were not meant to do? I don't know. And why would they want to do it? I mean, why would they even want to? I mean, why would they care? Why would they want to preserve like to work in your interest? It's not. I mean, because you wanted to happen. So a very possible course of action from those neurons would be to start killing the germs as well, like all of the germs. Now, probably they're not going to succeed because there are so many germs in the human body, and my estimation is that Homo sapiens, like here in Israel, and also, I mean, Nazi collaborator abroad, didn't like eat huge amounts, because how much do you have? I mean, you've already slaughtered all the male titans longer during the 70s, and you don't. I mean, for sometimes you can like you have like you take like the I mean, from time to time you have the corpse like of a dead titan female that you take from the grave and eat, literally so, and of course you have the eggs, like the bodily fluids that the titan females, I mean, their menstrual cycle, but that's also a problem because, as I said before, they are not really. It's not like, I mean, they are not 100% or 100% equivalent to Homo sapiens in a way that it's not just happening for them. They need to be triggered with the male like nanobots in order for this to happen, and there are no male nanobots. Because they all killed by Israelis. There is me, which of course is a substitute, and even a much more efficient substitute. And this was proven long ago. So of course they took it for me, and they gave it to the females. And as I said many times, it's difficult for me to judge the females. Collaborated with this, because I mean it was evil, and it was the main like reason why I'm a slave all my life. but on the same note, I mean, the females themselves are kind of slaves, and well, only God can judge slaves. In any case, so they take it from the menstrual cycles of the females, but this during the last year and a half, it's getting more and more difficult because I fight, like I do. I mean, I understood it, and so and since then I do whatever I can in order for it not to like. First I burned the stuff like with turpentine, and later when I understood that this could have like it could be beneficial like outside the body as well, I started to do research on it, as you know, as you've seen in this YouTube channel. But I don't just give it for them, and that's why they hate me. I mean, they raised the bar of my torture so significantly so during the last year and a half because I do not comply with being a farm animal. So I mean, they can't get it from me, at least not easily, and they can't. I think that they can get it from the females because the females need it also. Females. I mean, in order for them to produce this stuff, they need it. Also need the nanobots for me, and they also don't get it. So, not much options. And even in the past, when the enslavement was widespread, I don't think that they had significant amount of males, and I've spoken about it in the past, and I don't know why. Maybe it was just because initially I thought that they were not interested in males, like in their slave trade, in their slave raids. But after a while and more like in information and divination and experiences, I understood it's not the case, that they actually were interested both. Like I thought they wanted the female for, to act as like slaves and the fake wives to the pedophiles and homosexuals. But it wasn't really like that. I mean, they wanted both the females and the males. They wanted the slave trades. The object of the slave trades were anything that they can get their hands on. But it's just that it was much easier to actually enslave and capture the Venusian females than the males, and I'm not sure why. It might be that there are just more females than males there. I don't know. It's a possibility, and there is also an option that males are just physically stronger and they resisted. And another option is that part of they kept that part of the method of capture were seducing them with sex. You need to remember these are not. These are like. It's not an advanced, socially advanced society. So it might be. I try to imagine like such a society that is not that advanced, and also it's dark for long periods of time. So for a female, and of course they have sexual desires. So if they see like a male that is very healthy and by their own standards, maybe is well nourished. I don't know. Maybe they are all very thin, and they don't have like meat on them because it's difficult. I know Paleolithic life is not. They are not. They don't really always look like the Uden Neanderthals that you sometimes saw in like dioramas. Many times they just they look more like hobbits, like very or a slim version of hobbits because they don't have enough food to grow. So maybe it was just the circumstances were like that. It for a foreigner it was just much easier for a male foreigner. It was much easier to seduce a female to come with him and to do whatever they want, and ultimately to capture her and just using sexual seduction, which was not and maybe the discourse was not applicable to the other way around. Even if the slave trades like the raiders were also females, it's maybe sexual relations are not symmetrical as they were not symmetrical in Earth. So there might be many reasons. So it was easier for them to capture the females. They did have males here, and they tortured them immensely, and they forced them to conduct the raids themselves when they grew up. But they didn't have that much. So all in all, it's expected that like an Homo sapiens, even if he's like very high ranking, I don't know, like the head of the Mossad in Israel or whatever, or even if he's the richest person on earth that has all the access to buying the stuff from the Israelis, because the money is the thing that they like more than all, it's to be expected that probably even like the biggest pig of all of them didn't eat much of this material, like didn't have like the opportunity or the money or the power to actually get like substantial of amounts of those nanobots. And on the other side of the side, I mean, the human body contains tons of germs, like billions of germs. So eventually the nanobots would lose in such a battle, like inside the human body, which is probably the more like the positive outcome, as far as, I mean, from the point of view of the Homo sapiens. I mean, maybe not knowingly so, but think about the other options. The other option is that they will actually be able to survive inside it, or maybe to like to conquer like parts of the human body. And I mean, you know where most of the germs are located, which is of course the stomach and the digestive systems. And if they actually, I mean, if the pig, I mean, the Homo sapiens pig actually managed to eat enough of this stuff that they will actually like conquer like parts of his own or his or her own digestive system, like for permanently, then it means that they permanently lost their digestive, or at least some of their digestive abilities. Now, it should be said that the digestion in the Homo sapiens is something very complicated, and it contains many like stages, and it's so robust, and so because it's so like robust and intricate that you don't even need like all parts in order to digest. I mean, it's such a robust system that, I mean, if you lose, I mean, you can actually live without a stomach at all, for example. I mean, it's not going to be nice. It's not going to be nice. But this the people. I mean, there are people that have no. I mean, there are many people that lost some of their stomachs. During the last 15 years, it's actually an electable surgery that many people, I mean, they choose to do it. But in the past, many people have like lost parts of the stomach from all sorts of reasons, like non-voluntarily, and some people even lost entirely their whole stomachs, and they can still survive. Of course, it makes them more limited in their food choices, but even this is still, it's not the end of the Homo sapiens life. And it is also true for other like tracts or parts of the digestive system, because it's so intricate and so robust. So I mean, if actually people ate so much nanobots that they lost some of their ability to digest, it still doesn't mean that they are dead, but it's not going to be nice for them, because they will lose some of their ability to digest, and they will be more limited in their food choices and like eating habits. Okay, so this video also, I see that, I mean, the side note it became quite lengthy, so I'll start a new video in a while, and finally we will speak about what I promised, which is theories regarding the nanobots and new directions for research.